Chuck. So to get this whole thing started, what is a mind map?
A mind map is a visual representation of ideas, and it utilizes a central idea, like what you should be seeing on your screen shortly, with topics and subtopics kind of fanning off from that. And it allows you to get kind of a gestalt view of what you're, the information you're working with, in that you can see not only individual topics, but their relationship to each other, and that's quite powerful.
So it's a way of organizing information.
Yes.
What as we get started, why don't you tell people about your background? How did you get into mind mapping in the first place?
Well, my background is I've had a strong interest in innovation and creativity for many years. And as mind mapping software started to emerge, starting with a program called MindMan, which evolved into Mind Manager over time, I became fascinated with this whole space. And it seemed to be a very powerful way to organize ideas, to organize projects, plan meetings, and do a whole lot of different things with it. And as I watched this space evolve, it occurred to me that nobody was really doing an adequate job of reporting on it. There were a number of blogs that touched on it along with other topics, but no one that really had a blog devoted to it. So I decided to create one.
So that blog, now tell me about the things that are on there. What kinds of things can people find when they get there?
Well, there's the usual blog posts, which tend to focus on a couple of different areas. One is breaking news from the developers themselves, what new enhancements they're adding to their applications. But there's also how-to type articles on there, tips, techniques, all those sorts of things that are blog posts in and of themselves. But there's also some other content that I've added. And in fact, the blog has been recently relaunched to enable me to make it more of a one-stop shop of information about mind mapping software. There are some research and reports. I've done a number of surveys over the last couple of years of mind mapping software users to find out how they're utilizing it, what kind of results they're getting with it. There's also links to all of the software developers. I've written reviews of mind mapping software for a number of years, and I've provided links to all of those. And I try and keep that up to date as new versions are launched by the developers to make sure I get reviews up there fairly promptly, so people can use it as a guide to this type of software technology.
So why don't we jump into that? Let's talk. You talked a little bit about what a mind map is. Can you tell me from all that research how people are using them?
It's really all over the map because the tool...
No pun intended.
Yeah, exactly. The tools themselves are quite flexible in terms of how you can arrange ideas and information. And as they've evolved, it's gone beyond the point of being just simply a tool for capturing ideas visually to becoming almost a visual database, if you will, because you can add attachments and links to web pages or files or even individual emails. So it can become a project repository. Project management, therefore, is certainly one of the most popular uses of this type of software. People are also using it to keep track of their to-do lists, resource collections. In a knowledge management role, that's another common application where you take everything you know about a topic and you put it into a mind map. So
what are the other reports? You talk certainly about what people are doing with it. What are some of the key kind of lessons learned about how to make mind maps effective for you?
Well, one of the things that came out from these surveys was just to get back to the productivity aspect of it. On average, they found that they were increasing their productivity by an average of 20%.
Wow.
Yeah. And
what were the key things driving that productivity gain?
Well, one of the questions that I asked in one of the surveys was, what's the biggest benefit that you're getting from the software? And one of the potential responses that I threw in there, not really expecting it to get a lot of attention, but it was far and away the biggest benefit cited, was the ability to reach clarity faster on key issues. So most of us as knowledge workers today are expected to, in some cases, work almost on an ad hoc basis. Your boss comes to you and says, I need you to work on this. Well, you need to get smart on whatever that assignment is pretty fast. So you can use the internet and other resources to gather information and use the mind map to capture all of that. And if you need to make a business decision based on that, you can kind of lay out the pros and cons and weight those things in a mind map and achieve clarity on what you should do faster than just about any other way.
Well, you know what we're going to do is we're going to jump on with Jamie now, and we're going to talk a little bit about mind mapping and idea mapping in general, and we'll loop back with you, Chuck, to talk then about software and some of the things you've seen happening in the software space. How does that sound?
Sounds good.
So, Jamie, are you there?
Hey there, Tom.
Hey, Jamie, how are you?
Not so good.